Hello, listeners. Welcome back. Today we are looking at episode number 2 on the common mistakes in exams. And like I said, these mistakes are coming from my book, which is the 25 common mistakes in exams and how you can avoid them. Brother, if you read that book, sister, if you read that book, I'm telling you, your marks will never be the same. So make sure you read that book. Make sure you get that book. If you're a parent listening to this podcast, make sure you get the book for your children. Get the book for anyone who is at school and you want to support him, you want to support her. So just make sure you get the book. That's the biggest investment that you can do to that child, to that nephew, that niece of yours. So please make sure you get the book. And today we are continuing with the second episode number 2, where we are looking at another set of 5 mistakes that students make in exams, and how can you avoid these mistakes. So you have to know that school is nice, but when you are failing, when you're not doing well in school, things get bad and you get discouraged. Sometimes you just feel like giving up. So why should you give up when school is nice? Why should you give up when exams can be passed? My brother, my sister, I know it is time to get better marks. It is time to get A+. So what are these mistakes? Let's get started. The first mistake number 1, is arguing with the examiner. Arguing with the examiner. So students do argue. They argue with the examiner. So the question that you may be asking is, how do the students argue with the examiner? So the students argue with the examiner, especially when it comes to questions that have multiple choices. So the questions that have multiple choices, you find that here is the question number 1, the answer is A. You go to question number 2, you also get A as the answer. You go to question number 3, number 4, up to number 5, maybe, for example, you still get the answer as A. Then you move to question number 6, you still find that the answer is A. It is at that point where students now begin to ask and wonder, to say, what is happening? Is A still the answer? Then they begin to debate within themselves. And because of that, eventually what they do is they change. Instead of continuing to write A as the answer, they change and they write a B. They change, maybe they write a C. They change, maybe they write a D. But what you have to know is that if A is the answer, go ahead and write A as the answer. It's not good to just change for the sake of changing. Write the correct things, and that is what is going to help you to get better marks at the end of the day. So make sure you avoid that one. The second mistake number 2, is misinterpreting the question. My brother, this is one of the commonest, the most common, mistake that I've seen, as a teacher, as a lecturer, as a trainer. I've seen that students make these mistakes, and this is one of the mistakes that is very common. So you need to understand, what is the action verb? What is the doing word? What is each and every question trying to find out from you? So you need to know. Okay, so when the question says list, it's different from discussing. When they say outline, it's difficult from discuss. So you need to know, what do these words mean? And that is the catch. The moment you just understand that, then you're not going to go astray in answering that question. Okay, so most of the time you find that someone is asked you to outline, then he begins to discuss. Someone is asked you to discuss, then he begins to list. So these things mean different things altogether. So I talk about all these things in this book. Just make sure you follow, the correct things. What is the question asking you to do? So you have to know what you are supposed to do at the right time. So you are not going to misinterpret the question when you know what is supposed to be written at each and every question that is given. So understand the question. Understand the question. Sometimes students go parallel to the questions. Why? Because they failed to understand the question. So answer the question the way it is asking. Don't go and write your own things that you have not been asking. That is going to make you fail. Mistake number 3 is not starting each question on a fresh page. Sometimes, when you have enough paper, enough stationery, you need to make sure that you start each and every question on a fresh page. Start each and every question on a new page. That is going to help you, write smartly. Your work is going to look smart. It's going to look clean. It's not going to look very tidy, untidy or very dirty, very scruffy. So you just need to make sure that at least you write in a proper way. Start each question on a new page. It's surprising to see some students in college whereby you find someone is writing and squeezes the questions in the same page, same leaf. You find there's question 1, there's question 2, there's question 3, sometimes even question 4 on the same page. It's not in order. Make sure you write in a proper way. So if each question, separate the questions. Let question 1 be clear and be outstanding, very clear, where someone can surely be able to know that this is question 1. Question 2, again, independent, separately, so that even when it comes to marking and awarding of marks, it's clear cut. Okay, so it is very important to make sure that at least you start each and every question on a fresh page. That is going to help you. Now, mistake number 3 is copying from friends. Okay, mistake number 3 is copying from friends. Sometimes we copy. And I'm not saying it's bad to copy. Copy, you can copy, but how do you copy? So you need to make sure that you copy wisely. You don't just copy everything. You don't copy when the teacher is seeing you copying. Copying is not good, because sometimes you may end up copying wrong things. You should be careful, because you may end up copying wrong things from your friend. You are copying wrong things from a colleague. That is not something that is healthy. So make sure you write your own things. Write your own things. Write the things that you know, and that is going to help you to pass your exams. That is going to help you to write the very important things, the things that you know. So don't just copy. If you copy, make sure you are getting the right things, not wrong things. Sometimes I've seen students who erase or delete, the right things. They rub the right things that I've written, then they copy. In so doing, you find that they end up copying wrong things, and that cost them a lot of marks. So make sure you avoid that mistake as mistake number 4. Then mistake number 5 is not asking the questions where you don't understand. Sometimes students pretend. They pretend as if everything is okay. They pretend as if they've understood each and every question. Even if they've got a question that is burning question, they keep it to themselves. My brother, my sister, if you're a student, please make sure when you don't understand, you ask questions. Ask questions. Ask